Hello, we're at the London International Wine Fair 2013 at Excel. My name's Chris Powell from Local Wine School, and I'm joined today by Tim Wilson from the Wilson Drinks Report. And Tim, can you tell me a bit more about your company and what exactly it is you do?
Yeah, we provide drinks insights basically for the trade, and we help whether it's producers, retailers, anyone who's making a decision about selling alcohol in the UK, we help them make better decisions. So we provide market insights, we do our own analysis, we collect data from various places, and we do our own consumer research, both quantitative with 2,000 adult big samples, and qualitative, so focus groups, accompanied shopping trips, that type of thing.
Okay, great. And does your company do anything specific for your clients to help them engage with consumers and educate consumers?
Yes, a lot of what we do is around understanding how consumers buy, well, drinks, but particularly wine. So we've developed a number of purchase decision trees over time, trying to understand the importance of things like branding, pricing, grape varieties, country of origin, obviously promotional offers. And one thing that keeps coming up time and time again is this great confusion for consumers between grape varieties and wine regions. So they might stand in front of a supermarket wall of wine and just think, oh my God, how do I choose from here? And they're looking at labels to give some help. But the labels don't always help, because you might have 3 bottles of wine in a row, all labelled identically. 2 are regions and 1 is a grape variety. And the consumer thinks they're all the same, and they get confused. So some research I'm going to talk about at the wine fair is another classic around about 43% of consumers think that Chablis is a grape variety, because they keep seeing Chablis on labels alongside Chardonnay and things like that. And they're just so confused. So I think we can help retailers and help producers make it easier for consumers to understand what they're buying and what experience they might get from taste and value and things like that.
Okay. So is that true to say that's more relevant to old world wines rather than new world wines?
No distinction at all. So we've done a little sort of, maybe like a wine awareness little graph. And you start at the bottom where basically, do I like red or white? And then after a while you get to a level of knowledge where, okay, you start to understand a bit about regions and a bit about grape varieties, and you might get to a stage where you say, okay, I know I like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or Chilean Merlot, or you might even get to say, I like Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and that's getting up that experience curve. So we're trying to help the wine trade understand where a big chunk of consumers are on that journey, and most are still right at the bottom of the ladder. And within the industry events like the wine fair and other annual tastings, there's a huge amount of knowledge within the trade, but they can forget that outside, Joe Consumer, who we talk to on a regular basis, have very low levels of understanding of these basics. And it doesn't help, in my personal opinion, when you go on there's one big grocer's website, Orange in Nature, who list things like Rioja as a grape variety. Some really basic mistakes, which I think doesn't help the whole situation.
One last question. Do you think if there was one nugget of information you could pass on to the UK wine trade in how to better do its job at communicating with the consumer and enthusing and educating the consumer, what would be the one thing you think they could do better?
I think we have to take the conversation with the consumer away from price and on to, let's say, taste. Because once you get to taste, you can then talk about quality, all the different attributes around taste. When the consumer conversation is only about price, is it 50% off, 33% off, then everything else just gets forgotten about. And that's the big opportunity. We can all sell more, better stuff, everyone can make a bit more money, but just move the whole industry forward a couple of steps if we just get that conversation away from price and onto, let's say, start with taste.